welcome you all and I request Dr. Harsh Rana, Advocate Supreme Court of India and Honorary Convener JDF Area Center to start the program. Thank you.
Thank you, Sridhar. A very good evening to all and a happy 74th Independence Day to all. I'll first request Shri Prithviraj Kothari ji, Chairman JATF, for his welcome address. Prithviraj Kothari ji.
सभी को सादर जय जिनेंद्र। सबसे पहले स्वतंत्रता दिवस की और पर्व पर्युषण की आप सबको ढेर सारी शुभकामनाएं। On behalf of JITO and JTF pattern members and mentors, I welcome all dignitaries, speakers and participants for the e-launch of JTF. It's a historical event, JTF ADR Center. Sensing the need for a platform to settle disputes in the community and society at large, we have taken up this very challenging and ambitious project. We look forward to the support of all to make it a success. Though the center is created with a motto to serve the society, but we will try our best to run it in most professional manner as per established practices and protocols. We sincerely hope that people will make use of this noble initiative and platform and will try to settle their disputes to lead a peaceful and happy life. JTF Area Center is a dream project. I want cooperation to all to make it great. Jai Hind, Jai Jinendra.
Thank you, Prithviraj ji. Now I'll request Shri Pradeep Rathod ji, Chairman JITO Apex, for his welcome address. Pradeep ji.
Yes, Jinendra, and then happy Independence Day to all of you. I would like to be very warm afternoon to all the dignitaries who have joined to watch and to get the e-launch of the ADR Center. A big thanks to you for being with us on this moment of JATF to launch an ADR Center, which is, I think so, would help the society on many aspects of the disputes, small disputes what get arised, and to resolve them on this platform of JITO JATF. My heartiest congratulations to the entire JATF team, Shri Prithviraj Kothari, the chairman, JB Jain Saab, the president of JATF and Secretary General Praveen D. Jain, and the entire team. This would definitely be a feather in JATF cap, and it will serve the society and community at large. And what it goes without saying, it will be done in the most professional and the most, all the protocols what have to be followed for the center will be followed by JATF. Thank you.
Thank you, Pradeep ji. Now I request Shri Ganpat Raj Chaudhary ji, President JITO Apex, for his welcome address. Ganpat Raj ji.
जय जिनेंद्र। सबसे पहले तो मैं सारे पधारे हुए मेहमानों का हार्दिक JITO फैमिली की ओर से स्वागत करता हूं। आज 15 अगस्त और आज पर्वदिन आज पर्युषण का पहला दिन है, उसके लिए भी मैं सबको बधाई देना चाहूंगा। Friends, JITO has been adding one after another subject and chapters in its portfolio, and JATF, which is our flagship project, and we are really very fortunate and happy to have a great leadership of JATF under the leadership of Prithviraj Kothari, JB Jain and entire team, who has done excellent work throughout last 2 years in the JATF. Just 2 days before, we got a very excellent result. 40 students have passed away in the Central Civil Services exam. Before that, we already have 168 plus officers in the Central Civil Services. So all together, we now have 208. So this is one area, and why we are successful, not only because of our leadership or our donor or our pattern member. This is, I give a lot of credit to success of this to the officers who are helping, the professionals who are helping to Jito family by providing their mentorship, by providing and giving their valuable time to our student, going personally, meeting them, talking to them, and giving them all what they require. So a lot of credit goes to the professional who are rendering the service selflessly to see that how JATF can get better and better result. Just 6 months back, JATF last year we have launched the judiciary service, which is another addition which was not there earlier. I give a lot of credit along with our team of Prithviraj and JB. Hers has been doing the great job for all the portfolios, including the JATF and everything. So judicially, we have services, we have already added few students, and now within the 6 months, we are now coming to the ADR, which is a need of the hour. It was required for the community, society, as we all knows, with all due respect to the courts, lot of time takes in the result coming in the courts because of the backlog of the so many cases. And for a small issues, many time people happens to go to court because of lack of awareness or lack of maturity or whatever. So this ADR is going to be a very, very big help to the Samaj community and society. And I am sure the way it is being taken up and in the presence of the dignitaries who are the Kohinoor of our Samaj today, all are on the screen and who have come all the way, taking their busy schedule time to launch this. So I really bow down to all the dignitaries who have come and who are helping Jito, JATF by launching this ADR. And I am sure this ADR will go a long way. Once again, thanks to the entire team of JATF, hers, and all the professional who has showing the guiding path. So thank you very much, and I wish you all the best wishes. Thank you so much. Jai Jinendra.
Thank you, Chaudhary sir. Now I request Shri JB Jain ji, the President JATF, for his welcome address. JB Jain sir.
सादर जय जिनेंद्र। JATF परिवार की ओर सादर अभिनंदन। आज हमारे बीच में गण्यमान्य व्यक्ति मौजूद हैं, हम उनका हार्दिक स्वागत करते हैं। माननीय न्यायाधीश जी श्री GS सिंघवी जी, फार्मर जज, सुप्रीम कोर्ट ऑफ इंडिया, डॉक्टर श्री अभिषेक सिंघवी जी, MP एंड सीनियर एडवोकेट, सुप्रीम कोर्ट ऑफ इंडिया, माननीय न्यायाधीश श्री विनीत जी कोठारी, मद्रास हाई कोर्ट, माननीय न्यायाधीश श्री संदीप जी मेहता, राजस्थान हाई कोर्ट, श्री KTS तुलसी जी, MP एंड सीनियर एडवोकेट, सुप्रीम कोर्ट, श्री दुष्यंत जी दवे, सीनियर एडवोकेट एंड प्रेजेंट सुप्रीम कोर्ट बार एसोसिएशन, प्रेसिडेंट सुप्रीम कोर्ट बार एसोसिएशन, श्री संजय जी जैन, सीनियर एडवोकेट एंड एडिशनल सॉलिसिटर जनरल ऑफ इंडिया, श्रीमती ऐश्वर्या जी भाटी जी, सीनियर एडवोकेट एंड एडिशनल सॉलिसिटर जनरल ऑफ इंडिया, श्री प्रदीप जी राठौड़, चेयरमैन जीतो, श्री गणपत जी चौधरी, प्रेसिडेंट जीतो, श्री पृथ्वीराज जी कोठारी, चेयरमैन JATF, आप सभी का हार्दिक स्वागत। आज इस महत्वपूर्ण क्षणों में आपको संबोधित करने में का अवसर पाकर मैं स्वयं को गौरवान्वित महसूस कर रहा हूँ। आज मैं उस संस्था को प्रतिनिधित्व कर रहा हूँ जिसका लक्ष्य है सेवा, शिक्षा और ज्ञान के अलावा समाज कल्याण के लिए भी कार्य करना। इसी उद्देश्य के लिए JATF एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव ट्रेनिंग फाउंडेशन की स्थापना 2008 में हुई। JATF द्वारा अनेक परियोजनाएं संचालित है जो कि समाज के प्रतिभाशाली छात्र छात्राओं के लिए शैक्षणिक गतिविधियों का संचालन कर रही है। JATF द्वारा UPSC, स्टेट PSC, बैंक PO और जुडिशरी की शिक्षा देने की व्यवस्था है। JATF का लक्ष्य ईमानदार और प्रतिभावान नौजवानों को तैयार करना है जो कि प्रशासनिक सेवाओं में प्रवेश कर अहिंसा एवं शांति की भावना के साथ साथ मानवता व समाज की सेवा कर सके। आपको जानकर प्रसन्नता होगी कि इस बार यूपीएससी 2019 में प्रथम 25 में से 7 स्थानों पर जेटीएफ के विद्यार्थी हैं। हमारे 71 स्टूडेंट्स में से 41 विद्यार्थी यूपीएससी में पास हुए हैं। जस्टिस डिलेड इज अ जस्टिस डिनाइड। आज देश में लगभग 3 करोड़ से ज्यादा केस कोर्ट में पेंडिंग पड़े हैं। इसी बात को ध्यान में रखकर जेटीएफ एक नया अध्ययन जेटीएफ एडीआर के रूप में शुरू करने जा रहा है। हमारा उद्देश्य न्यायालयों के बाहर प्रचलित कानूनों के अनुसार विवाद समाधान के हेतु एक सरल और सुगम मंच प्रदान करना है। हमने प्राय देखा है कि समाज के अंदर बहुत से ऐसे परिवार हैं जहां पर वैचारिक मतभेद के कारण पारिवारिक रिश्तों में अथवा वैवाहिक रिश्तों में अथवा पैतृक संपत्ति को लेकर कई विवाद हो जाते हैं, जिसके लिए कोर्ट में विवाद समाधान हेतु कई वर्ष लग जाते हैं। इसलिए हमें लगा कि समाज में एडीआर की बहुत जरूरत है। जेटीएफ एडीआर द्वारा प्रारंभिक दौर में मीडिएशन परिवारों के बीच वैवाहिक और पारिवारिक विवादों के साथ शुरू करेंगे और बाद में बिजनेस आर्बिट्रेशन के लिए शुरू करेंगे। जेटीएफ एडीआर सेंटर हमारा ड्रीम प्रोजेक्ट है। मैं आप सभी से विनती करता हूं कि आप सभी हमें सहयोग दें और इस प्रोजेक्ट को सफल बनाएं। हम विशेष रूप से श्री हर्ष सुराना को धन्यवाद देना चाहते हैं, जिन्होंने जेटीएफ एडीआर सेंटर के कार्यभार के संचालन की जिम्मेदारी ली है। जय हिंद, धन्यवाद।
Thank you, JB Jain sir. Now, just to give a brief introduction of the initiative, JTF ADR Center, as told by the previous speakers, is not a commercial venture, but a social initiative for the benefit of the community and society at large. But we wish to run it in the most professional manner. Due to the present pandemic times, we wish to explore, apart from alternative dispute resolution, online dispute resolution, online mediation in the areas of matrimonial, family, and commercial disputes, and further arbitration, where we will encourage member companies of GTO to have JTF ADR clause in their respective agreement and contracts. As first initiative, we have conducted 40 hours online training of 30 practicing advocates from across the country, as mandated by the Supreme Court Mediation and Conciliation Project Committee, MCPC. The training was imparted by Samadhan and Madhyam senior trainers, Shri JP Singh, senior advocate, Madam Veena Ralli, Shri Sumit Chandar, and Ms. Mitali Gupta. Our special thanks to Mrs. Shalini Shishodia ji, President of SULE, for all her support, guidance, and motivation. Honorable Justice G.S. Singhvi, former Judge, Supreme Court of India, inaugurated the training on 1st August, and Honorable Justice Vijender Jain, former Chief Justice of Punjab and Haryana High Court, was present at the valedictory session on 9th August. The training was for 5 days, 8 hours each on 1st, 2nd, 7th, 8th, and 9th August. Once all our speakers address, we will play a short clipping of the mediator's certificate and a glimpse of soon to be published e-book of JTF ADR Center. I am just told that Justice G.S. Singhvi is unable to log in due to some technical glitch at his end. We are trying that if we can join from a different device. In that case, I'll request Dr. Abhishek Singhvi, third term sitting member of parliament and eminent jurist, for his inaugural and keynote address. Dr. Singhvi needs no introduction. You all must have already gone through the impressive CV in the short flyer that has already been circulated. I just wish to highlight one important aspect, that Dr. Singhvi was part of the special team of Indian Supreme Court and US Federal Court of Appeal judges and a few select lawyers set up by the Indian Supreme Court in the early 1990s, which studied the world's most successful ADR system, that is the Californian system. And they co-authored the recommendations in early 1997, which eventually led to the enactment of Section 89 of the Civil Procedure Code, giving a variety of ADR options to the litigant. So I'll request Dr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi sir for his inaugural and keynote address. Dr. Singhvi.
Honorable Justice G.S. Singhvi in absentia, honorable judges on the virtual dais, my esteemed colleagues from the bar, law officers, and of course the fraternity of JITO and JATF. I think it's a great achievement to choose for a start. No more auspicious start could have been thought of than a intersection of Independence Day and the beginning of Paryushan. So I think well begun is half done, and this bodes well for the future of this new nascent center. I've had the privilege of speaking at many JITO events, including the inception inaugural one in Mumbai many years ago. And let me tell you, and these are not merely adjectives, over the years, JITO has stood out, and by JITO I mean all its various affiliate sub-organs and activities, for A, professionalism of a genuine kind, not mere words, B, dynamism, not always known in some community organizations, result orientation, a remarkable focus, and of course, innovation. These four have combined it to do so many new things. For example, a small thing like compilation of directories and availability in technologically facilitative formats in a way not done before. And these are of extremely great use within the community and outside. Educational programs. You just heard about the remarkable achievements in the civil services. And I remember a very highly multidisciplinary interactive process many years ago, which I had the privilege of addressing, about how to increase representation in all major platforms and sectors, including the professions and even the body politic. And they had some very, very innovative ideas then. I think I'm told that it is not restricted to disputes within the community, but it will take time to gain acceptability across the board. But ultimately, its validity and its raison d'etre will be if it is used by people unconnected with the community. And I'm sure that day is not too far. Well, friends, as far as the e-launch of a center like this is concerned, I think the mantra, the catchwords have to be what I call the ABCD code, where my A stands for access, B for backlog, C for cost, and D for delay. See, in whichever way, these are the scourges of the existing system, the formal system, which you call litigation. And quite frankly, I would put arbitration also there. I'm quite surprised that we still call arbitration ADR. For me, it is nothing but pre-litigation litigation. Arbitration was the original bypass. As you have bypass surgery, it was the original bypass to the main heart, which was litigation. Now ADR has developed precisely because the original bypass has failed. So anyway, traditionally and also here in this center, we continue to aggregate arbitration, and let us hope that both make progress. A word about the 1997 report. It was actually Justice Ahmadi's initiative, and we had 4 Court of Appeal judges at the top level of the US Supreme Court, just one below that. And we had 2 Supreme Court judges from here and 2 lawyers. I was privileged to work for about 3 summers in San Francisco studying the Californian system. It is where ADR in a professional sense originated. And it continues in those days, certainly, and I don't know the latest statistics, but possibly even now, have the highest success rates. You know, in those days, and I'm now talking of the late 90s, we authored the report in late 90s, and it was enacted ultimately as the menu of ADR choices in Section 89 of our CPC. In California, we found that less than 5% cases went to trial. I think every judge sitting on this dais would think of it as paradise. That out of 100 cases, less than 5 went to trial. These are actual cases filed in court. And while in court by one form or the other, the appellate rate was even higher. That was because they had the menu we have, minus Lok Adalat, but they had another very interesting item on the menu card, which 89 does not have, and which we recommended, knowing that it could not be operated in India, but we still recommended it. There was a fifth one there called judicial settlement, namely ADR by a sitting judge. Statistically in California, it was found that a sitting judge generated the maximum faith and the highest resolution of disputes on ADR, statistically. Of course, mediation worked, conciliation worked, they had no Lok Adalat, but there are other forms, etc. But judicial settlement, which in America and California meant a settlement by a sitting judge, was the most successful. Now, alas, in India, we knew it could not work because we do not have enough judges to even deal with our backlog. How can one ask judges to be spared for judicial settlement? Of course, judicial settlement means that the trial judge or the judge handling the case does not do the settlement. It goes to another sitting judge. And nothing which goes on before that other judge comes back to the trial judge in case the mediation fails. But it was immensely successful there. And given the fact that we have roughly 1,100 High Court judges in this country, and at any time after independence, which will be 75 years next year, we have had approximately 1/3 of those 1,100 judges posts vacant in India. I can't ask for many, many years judicial settlement as an ADR option in India. Today, friends, it's not so much about the substantive subject of arbitration or ADR. It's about the mechanisms, the structures, the institutions to make it work. We must start with the pessimistic view that there are enough graveyards of such centers littering the legal landscape, not only in our country, but in neighboring countries and globally. There is one graveyard of one of the most expensive centers set up, and I was involved in that, no farther than Vasant Kunj. It failed. We have to be honest about it. And it was the first such center which was nationalized last year. Nationalization of an ADR center. The reasons are many. This is not the time to go into it. Personal egos being one of the principal ones. These are lessons for those who set up new centers. And let me tell you, no center could have been more or better endowed in terms of land and institutional infrastructure. It is not the building or the land alone, though important, which makes an institution. It is the person, the persons who run it. They're only as good, the institution is only as good, especially in the nascent stage. Therefore, the second point is that you must have professional people running it. Emotion doesn't work. Professional CEO, professionally managed, full-time. And as Mao Zedong famously said, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. A cat is only as good as the number of mice it kills. Well, this center must kill enough mice. The mice here means decide the maximum number of cases in the shortest possible time, at the minimum cost, and with minimum red tape. That's your ABCD mantra. Access, backlog, cost, and delay. Rules which must govern this center must be simple, lucid, and clear. I have seen some rules, both in international arbitration and domestic, which would make the most complicating lawyer blush. They are so complicated that you require an aid to interpretation to navigate the rules. Please avoid that if you can. Above all this is the credibility of the arbitrators in the arbitration section and the mediators and conciliators in the ADR section. That credibility is most important. So while on Independence Day, we have to take a pledge to get independence from the scourge of ABCD, we simultaneously have to decide that unless you have a fresh start, you have seen how these things have failed across us in the country. Fali Nariman, at an event where we both were speaking, gave an interesting anecdote about how a person asked when he had acute dental pain, stranded in England, fearful of the cost, he asked by telephoning a doctor in London what he could do about the dental pain. He said, "You come, it'll take only a few minutes and we'll extract the truth or do something about it." So he said, "How much would it cost, doctor?" He said, "Well, £300. He said, £300 only for a few minutes? The doctor said, "If you want, I'll take longer, but the pounds will be the same." Now, this attitude has to change in everything, in arbitration, in mediation, in dispute resolution. I think we also need to create a Chinese wall if the same center is having both arbitration and mediation, or rather arbitration and ADR. Because a lot of things you learn in arbitration, you have to unlearn in ADR and mediation. The two are actually, according to me, especially in the current context, chalk and cheese different. So while you must have both, don't let the vices of one enter the other or dilute the virtues of the other. And I think we have now, luckily, in fact, my own view is that over the years, we should be having a declining arbitral sector and a rising mediation sector. That would be probably the best achievement. And we have some sterling, outstanding examples. I keep hearing a lot of the names mentioned have worked with me, who mentioned earlier in the program, about Madhyam, for example, about Samadhan, for example. These are doing excellent work. And one of the reasons they're doing excellent work is because young people are associated with it. Bright, fresh, young places. Remember in 97, when we did this project in California, for many years, decades then, there was a center called JAMS, Judicial Arbitration and Mediation Services, which is still there, which was chambers of lawyers doing only arbitration and mediation. I was struck by the fact that we have now in 2020, that's almost 25 years after we wrote the report, and we don't really have that kind of law practice in India. Of course, it is now slowly emerging. I know of some youngsters who are doing it, but that is the culture for ADR in particular. I'm not talking of only arbitration, but those were judicial arbitration and mediation chambers called JAMS in California. Yes, you must do the numbers game. You must deal with the family disputes in the community, and that is numbers, and they are sometimes small and medium. That gets the center growing. But ultimately, credibility will only be established when you also do some of the big ones. And remember, if you are only community centered, then this is India's second smallest community, but commercially probably minority community, I'm sorry, second smallest minority community, but commercially probably the most active. So you have to settle big corporate disputes as well to give this heft and viability and name. And I think that will happen in the fullness of time, but our focus must be there. As I said, ultimately the object should not be to restrict it to the community alone. The fee schedule has to be attractive enough to get good people, but it has to be good enough not to be a deterrence. Not too high, not too low. It's a difficult task. There have been, as you say, if you give peanuts, you may get only monkeys. So you need to be careful both about peanuts and monkeys. But you also need to avoid the mumbo jumbo of legalese. Legalese has already made arbitration into pre-litigation litigation. It has too heavy a baggage of lawyers, judges, and legalese. All three, mind you, not only legalese. And I mentioned judges and lawyers as well. I don't know, India is the only country I know which has this mesmeric, hypnotic attraction only for judges as arbitrators. Why we do not use more experts, develop a panel of utmost integrity, lay people, but we need to develop that. That doesn't happen in actual practice. But any case, along with that necessarily comes the mumbo jumbo and the baggage, both of which we have to avoid. These are all points not about the substantive law of arbitration or ADR. It's about the institutional mechanism which you are now setting up. Friends, I think Harsh Surana has also achieved a remarkable feat. He sent me a program which gave about 5 or 7 minutes, as the case may be, to each speaker. I was asked to speak 1 or 2 minutes more because possibly Justice Singhvi might not be able to come in time. But for the argumentative Indian to have such a long list of speakers with 7 minutes is an achievement itself. So may I end now giving enough time to people by saying that the motto of this is not about law, lawyers, arbitration, technical words. The motto should be that these are people who smooth out difficulties. These are people who relieve stress. These are people who correct mistakes. And these are therefore people who take up other people's burdens. Thank you very much, and Godspeed to the new institution.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot for your insights and words of wisdom. It will certainly help a lot the ADR Center. Thanks, sir. As our second speaker, we have Honorable Justice Dr. Vineet Kothari ji, Judge Madras High Court. Before doing LLB and PhD, Justice Kothari is also a qualified CA and CAS. He has great authority on mediation, arbitration, taxation, and commercial laws, and of course, constitutional law. So I'll request Honorable Justice Dr. Vineet Kothari Saab for his address. Dr. Kothari Saab.
Thank you, Harshji. Very happy Independence Day and Paryushan Parv to all the August audience. We are missing Justice Singhvi, but Mr. Singhvi, Abhishek Singhvi, my dear friend, has done a very good job by initiating all of us into this beautiful march of mediation movement in the country at JDF Center. GITO, I've been attending some conferences of GITO. Thanks to Acharya Shri Navpadma Sagarji, who launched this program as a whole. And JITF, its branch, has bloomed really nicely. And mediation friends, I am in love with this movement, of course, for last many years. And in all the 3 high courts which I've served so far, Rajasthan, Karnataka, and Chennai now, I had the benefit of heading the committees concerned or the centers. So court annex mediation, whatever we could do there, has taught me many lessons. And Mr. Singhvi rightly said that let it not fall in the trap of arbitration, which is also treated as part of ADR system. Now the mediation, of course, the new law, which is now sought to be enacted by Parliament, is still offing. It will, hopefully, soon come. As of now, we depend mainly on the Section 89 and judgments of Supreme Court and the rules framed by MCPC for the purpose of conducting mediations in our country. And Corona has taught us many lessons, including the biggest thing, that how to work from home online. As of today also, I'm running my Madras High Court bench sitting at Jodhpur for last 2 months. So, and very successfully, very properly, no hassles, no problems. Now, the thing is that Mediation Center, JITF, is very lucky to have initiated this, taken a big leap in this regard. But we have to be very careful and see that the center works very effectively by conducting as many cases as possible. It is not easy to get cases also. You will have to not only take up those cases which the people approach you pre-litigation stage or even after the litigation is launched by them, particularly in family disputes or property disputes. But you have to have very good mediators because it's a skill. It's a science and art both combined. And therefore, you have to have very good panel of the mediators, 40 people you have trained, but there are other already trained mediators available. So you should develop a countrywide kind of panel, not only in Delhi, so that you can invite and launch these programs all over the country in a big way. Then the reputation of center can build up. And as Abhishek Sab rightly said, that over a period of 6 months or 1 year to prove your mettle, and working hard for that is naturally required. And as a mediation, as a concept, we all know, is a win-win situation for all, and therefore the settlements arrived in the mediation they give the finality to the dispute itself. The mediator has to take the parties to the bottom of the dispute, core of the dispute, and the solution comes from them only. The mediators only act as an agent, as mediator, to bring both parties not only to the table but to the solution also. And that solution really gives the peace to the parties, and then by obtaining the decree on that basis, you can really have a no further appeal, because in India we know the hierarchy of the appeals and revisions right up to Supreme Court from a trial court is so long that it takes years and very costly affair it becomes. So in civil disputes, they say the third generation only sees the results of the civil disputes. So this is an unfortunate situation, and not only in the family matters and property disputes, we have to take commercial disputes also. The new act provides for necessary pre-litigation reference to mediation. So we have to see that we have the panel of all kinds of experts in our JITF center, and we really provide effective services to the disputants and litigants before going to litigation or even after they are there. So on this occasion, I can only congratulate the JITF Center for having undertaken this very big step forward. And I wish you all the best. There are senior people associated with you. There are trained people associated with you. Community support is there in a big way. There is no dearth of money and resources with you people. Therefore, I hope that you will surely achieve what is desirable in this, and let us not become a failure example which Dr. Singhvi gave of Vasant Kunj Mediation Center. I hope and I wish and I pray God that we'll prove it to be the best center in the country and maybe at international level also. So thank you very much for giving this opportunity, and once again, wish you all the best on these two auspicious days together. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot for your great insights. Now, as our third speaker, we have Honorable Justice Shri Sandeep Mehta ji, Judge, Rajasthan High Court at Jodhpur. Justice Mehta has previously been the Chairman, Bar Council of Rajasthan and a leading criminal lawyer in the state of Rajasthan. Justice Mehta is presently also the Chairman of Rajasthan Judicial Academy. So I request Justice Sandeep Mehta sir for his address.
A very warm afternoon to all. Happy Independence Day and happy Paryushan Parv. I am thankful to JITF and Harsh to have made me a part of this wonderful discussion on the occasion of opening of the JITF ADR Center. Much has been said by Dr. Abhishek Singhvi and Dr. Justice Vineet Kothari Sahab on what are the pros and cons of these centers which have opened till date in the country and what their fate has been. I have very little experience in the ADR part of the justice delivery system, but whatever little I have learned and whatever little I have done, the best part of it is the look of satisfaction on the face of the litigant once the mediation or the alternative dispute resolution succeeds. And that should be the target. In addition to what guidelines Dr. Abhishek Singhvi has just shared with us, I would like to tell you that for this center to be a success, you will have to invite people, you will have to draw people to the center. Otherwise, it will, of course, fail as the other centers have failed. We have seen the fate of few such centers in Jodhpur. So, for that purpose, the scheme as has been done by the legal service authorities all over the country in imparting education. So, if that kind of an endeavor can be made to educate people on the benefits of mediation, benefits of alternative dispute resolution. So a man or litigant, before going to the courts, he can approach the ADR center and put his problems there, and the intervention can be done at the pre-litigation stage. We have got wonderful trainers with us. JITF, of course, is a professional forum now. There can be no doubt about it with the rate of success in the civil services examinations. So this professionalism has to be put to work in a new field and a new dimension. And I'm sure with Dr. Harsh Surana's active efforts and the team of mediators and the trainers we have, I was talking to Madam Shalini Sishodia a few days back, and she was ecstatic about the success of the mediations which have taken place in the Delhi High Court with her organization. So I would suggest that these success stories, they must be incorporated in the ADR center so that these ideas can formulate the way to success, to a successful settlement, to a successful mediation and a satisfied litigant. Thank you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Jai Jinendra.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot for your encouraging words. They mean a lot to us, sir. As our next speaker, we have Shri KTS Tulsi Sir, Senior Advocate, Supreme Court of India. Tulsi Sir is one of the topmost criminal lawyer in the country. He is also the sitting second term member of parliament. Though Tulsi Sir has represented who's who of the society, but at the same time, he has taken up many social causes on purely pro bono basis. I'll request KTS Tulsi Sir for his views and his address.
Well, thank you very much. I would like to begin by wishing everybody a very happy Independence Day. And I want to take this discussion to the criminal law side. And because there is a now plea bargaining chapter in the criminal procedure with effect from 2006, but we have virtually less than 1% of cases which go in for plea bargaining. Plea bargaining is a tool which has prevented the American criminal justice system from collapsing. This is what they say, that we can't give you absolute justice, but the system must work. And the system works by being able to take care of long delays that take place in disposal of criminal cases, where the courts sometimes take 10 years to pronounce as to whether a prisoner is innocent or guilty. And also we need to think about, as a society, what are the prospects of being able to rehabilitate a person who comes from the prison into a responsible citizen. The prisoners, if they are going to be left on their own, then it's going to perpetuate the cycle of crime, trial, jail. And then again, the cycle will continue. We need to see our criminal justice system in India at the moment, they say, is crippled with cancer delays. It is so much, the pendency in the end of 2015 was 1.5 crore of cognizable cases in the country. The total pendency, the civil and criminal, was 3 crore to 53 lakh. Now, if we take into account the magnitude of the problem, it is that there are more than 130,000 rape cases pending in the country. Many of them for more than 10 years. The witnesses would die, the memory would fade, and eventually it would result in denial of justice, in the sense, if guilty are not punished. After all, what is criminal justice? Criminal justice is a promise to the victim that don't resort to fighting on the streets. We will secure punishment for the guilty. And when we fail to get punishment for the guilty, it only creates, it only results in lynchings, mob lynchings, which are more dangerous than the terrorist laws. A terrorist at least escapes, he commits the crime in the secrecy of night, or wherever there is nobody to be able to identify him. But in lynchings, what we are noticing is that people are actually making videos. There are sometimes dozens of people who are chanting, who are egging them on. And it's the worst kind of crime that one can. Why have we reached this stage? Because we have perhaps ignored the importance of law and order in society. There are at the moment more than 170,000 murder cases pending. I don't know how much time is going to take for all of them to be eliminated, but by the time they have decided, perhaps we will have another 1.5 lakh or 2 lakh cases. So are we able to assimilate the plea bargaining system with the alternative dispute resolution that you are engaged in? And that's why I am here to propagate, to argue the case of plea bargaining as an integral part of alternative dispute resolution. There's a chapter 21, capital A, which has been added to Criminal Procedure Code, and it is actually law only on paper, because we haven't been able to convince the prisoners, we haven't been able to convince the judges about the efficacy of plea bargaining, we haven't been able to convince the prosecutors, and we haven't been able to convince the defense lawyers that this is much better. And if we see the provisions, they're quite revolutionary. It's one of the best plea bargaining systems in the world, except that it applies only to those offenses which are punishable with 7 years or less. But it covers both police cases as well as the complaint cases. Now, it's no doubt true that the role of plea bargaining, the manner in which it has to work itself out, is in the court. The court issues notice to the public prosecutor, as a result of which a meeting is held, which is optional for the victim as well as the accused to attend. They can attend if they want. Now, it's not that we cannot, we have no role, because the entire role is assigned either to the court or to the prosecutor. We have a role because we can educate the prisoners. Somebody has to go to the prisons and tell them that you are only waiting for bail, but here is a method by which you don't even have to make a confession. The law beautifully carves out a mutually satisfactory disposition. Mutually satisfactory disposition is to be worked out, but there are no experts to help them. And that's why in India, we have virtually nil. The total number of cases which were decided were only 41,816 out of 1.05 crore, which works out to 0.45%. 0.45%. As against this, in America, we have a situation where 80% or more than 80% cases are decided by plea bargaining. In America, every offense can be plea bargaining can take place even when death sentence has been awarded by the trial court. Now there, I wish that if we are able to make this small step forward, the parliament should then be advised to extend this benefit to all offenses. In America, the plea bargaining system was challenged in the case of Brady versus US, but because it is in the fear of conviction and death sentence that the accused actually accepts the plea bargaining. But in Brady versus US, the US Supreme Court held that it does not illegitimize in any way the alternative dispute resolution or the plea bargaining system. In the case of accused who was convicted of having killed Martin Luther King Jr., he was also successfully able to avail of the plea bargaining system, and he was sentenced to 99 years, but he was able to avoid the death sentence. 99 years is no peanuts. I mean, I think I have already perhaps exhausted my time, but I would like to say that please do think about integrating plea bargaining system with the alternative dispute resolution. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot for highlighting the concept of plea bargaining. We will, sir, certainly seek further guidance from you how to sync this with the ADR system. Thanks a lot, sir. As our next speaker, we have Shri Dushyant Dave, Senior Advocate, Supreme Court of India. Dave, sir, is one of the top arguing counsels in the country, has done remarkable work in arbitration and commercial litigation. He is leading the Apex Bar, that is the Supreme Court Bar Association, as president for the 3rd term. He is known for his firmness, leadership, and he loves to call a spade, always. So I request Shri Dushyant Dave sir for his views. Dave sir.
Good evening, everybody. My good friend, Dr. Singhvi, Honorable Justices Kothari and Justice Mehta, Mr. K.T.S. Tulsi, my friend, Mr. Sanjay Jain, and Ms. Aishwarya Bhati, the office bearers of GITO and JFT, and my good colleague, Harsh. It's really a wonderful occasion to launch this platform. Independence Day is not just to celebrate, but it is also to introspect. 74 years, what have we achieved is something which we seriously need to think about. And I'm sure every right-thinking Indian perhaps will definitely conclude, at least privately, that we have not achieved what our constitutional forefathers had really desired we should achieve. Now, put that aside for a moment. The socio and economic justice is really the goal of the Constitution. What have we today? Serious inequality, in terms of the accumulation of wealth, and many other issues which are really seriously, requiring introspection. The answer to many of the India's problems lies with the industry. And the more we can economically develop, the more we can really, set up opportunities of manufacturing, service sectors, and others. We can create jobs because agricultural sector is under tremendous pressure, and people are walking away from agricultural sector. You ask any farmer in the age group of 60 to 70, and he will say that my sons don't want to be farmers. They might as well come to the cities, live in shanties, and work as workers in the factories. So India's future lies in economic development. And one of the, I think, powerhouses of that economic development in India is the Jain community. I do not know much about GITO. I'm not familiar. But coming from Gujarat, I am deeply familiar with the contribution of the Jain community. And I must confess, however small that community may be, its contribution is too large in proportion to what its size may be. And we must realize that, I went to a school when I was a child in Palanpur, which is run by Jain trustees, set up by the Jain community, one of the finest schools that one can ever go to, Vidya Mandir High School. And so I am very familiar. The system of ADR, the mediation, is centuries old in this country. The Mahajans in good old days used to resolve all issues very, very amicably and to the satisfaction of both sides. Why is it so? It is because these people who really, were involved in mediation, in resolution process, were people with tremendous respect in society. And it is these people who really can bring about quick resolution of the commercial disputes that the business community or, the community in general or society in general may face today. It's therefore absolutely necessary. And, I must say one thing, having been a lawyer for 42 years, that the community will have to rely more and more and more on its own leaders rather than rely on lawyers and judges. I think judges and lawyers really, to my mind, with great respect, and I must choose words very carefully after yesterday, have really not been able to achieve what we thought that we could achieve. And I think there is no doubt about the fact that our judicial system can tire anybody out. And the business community doesn't need that. For a small trader, a dispute, if it goes on for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, it's a disaster for him. He will die because of that, by paying the fees of senior counsels, and some of the biggest names are on your platform today. And, the long delays, it's not really worth it. So I would say that it is the community which, and I really plead with GITO, that it has, for example, I know of Kasturbai Lalbhai in Ahmedabad. Late Shri Kasturbai Lalbhai was such a great towering figure in the Jain community. and he was one of the finest mediators to resolve disputes within the community. However large those disputes were, however complicated they were, Kasturbai decided well. And once he decided, everybody accepted it. Now, today also, I have no doubt that Jain community has many such people who command tremendous respect. So first and foremost, it is very important that community must come forward, these people. Now, how do you do this? You have to change the mindset. I mean, it's not, Dr. Singhvi has given outstanding examples of many things to be done. But what really you need today to make any institution successful is to change the mindset. Our mindset today is not to resolve, is to drag every dispute as long as we can. And we, the lawyers, and to a great extent, the judges are both equally responsible. Now, this is what we have to change. The mindset should be in an institution like yours that as soon as the dispute comes, how do we bring it to an end as quickly as possible? And for that, you have to impress upon both sides really the challenges that they may face if they go to litigation. The horror stories of litigation have to be told to them. The fees charged by senior lawyers have to be told to them. The delays in the judicial system have to be told to them. These horror stories must be told to the, to the claimants and the respondents in all disputes or the parties as strongly as possible, as harshly as possible. Because unless people realize that litigation is not worth it, it only will help one party to somewhat extent in the short run. In the long run, both parties suffer. And ultimately what suffers is the economic activity of the country. The economic activity must go on uninterruptedly. No country in the world today has the kind of litigation and delays that India has. And that's the reason that many of these countries have stolen a march over us in economic development. So I would definitely urge the community and the center that it must, try and spread this message of change of mindset, that once there is a mediation, both sides must be prepared to resolve. 1. 2, the mediator must be a person who is acceptable to both sides and who commands general respect. And 3, once the mediator decides the issue, both sides must be able to and must be willing to accept it finally, so that you can put an end happily. Now, this is something which you will have to achieve and unless and until you do this, as many speakers have said, as I think Justice Kothari rightly pointed out, and Dr. Singhvi also spoke, that these centers have come up but have not been successful. I have also been party to some of those centers. So I would, while wishing you lots of good luck in your venture, I would urge you to seriously introspect on these issues and perhaps take some amount of corrective, out-of-box approach so that you can become successful. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, sir, for your straight talk. We will certainly take clues from this, sir. Now, as our next speaker, we have Shri Sanjay Jain, Senior Advocate, Supreme Court of India. He was previously representing the Government of India before the Delhi High Court. He commands expertise on almost all fields of law. Presently, Sanjay sir is the Additional Solicitor General of India before the Honorable Supreme Court. Requesting Sanjay Jain sir for his views.
Mr. Justice G.S. Singhvi, Honorable Dr. Justice Vineet Kothari, Honorable Mr. Justice Sandeep Mehta, the renowned international jurist Dr. Abhishek Singhvi, country's best criminal lawyer and constitutional expert Shri K.T.S. Tulsi, country's most fearless lawyer and constitutional expert and President of Supreme Court Bar Association, Shri Dushyant Daveji, the dynamic law officer and my colleague, Aishwarya Bhattiji, the Shri Pradeep Rathore and Shri Ganpat Raj Chaudhary, and the esteemed office bearers of JTF, ladies and gentlemen, we are proud of JTF for having set up the Mediation Center and taking pains to train the mediators in the manner described by Dr. Surana. The manner in which the mediation as a concept has taken the current legal system, particularly in the bigger cities and metros. It is high time that we need to ruminate and introspect whether we continue to call it an alternative dispute resolution system or we elevate it to EDR from ADR. EDR means elementary resolution system. Because as a pre-litigation regime, unless mediation takes the position of elementary resolution system, that is EDR, it will not provide succor to the common man and the medium level commercial and business people. That's my personal view. We call it ADR or we call it EDR. The point is that we have been able to set up this center in the Jain community, and no doubt the people who will be manning this center will not only be from Jain community but from all over the country and from different communities as well, because it is extremely important for us to ensure that the people other than Jain community people also participate and take advantage of this center. So we should not be giving an image as if it is a center where only Jains can approach. It is equally available to non-Jains, and I must tell you that if one is a Jain, it is inherently ingrained in our religion and religious beliefs that we are fair by nature, because fairness is something which is elementary to Jainism. So therefore, the most important thing is that mediation से जुड़ी एक और खूबसूरत बात यह है कि ये जैन फिलॉसफी का दूसरा रूप है। मगर अगर हम जैन धर्म के स्यादवाद को ध्यान में लें तो वो एक ऐसी फिलॉसफी है जो अनेकांतवाद की बात करती है और ये भी कहती है कि आपको एब्सोल्यूटिज्म को नेगेट करना है। अगर मैं एक वस्तु को देख रहा हूं एक क्षण में और उसको कह रहा हूं कि ये ग्लास है और दूसरा व्यक्ति कह रहा है कि ये कप है, तो ये कहना मुश्किल है कि मेरी बात सही है और दूसरे व्यक्ति की बात गलत है, क्योंकि एक ही क्षण में हम एक ही चीज को अलग अलग एंगल से अलग अलग पर्सपेक्टिव से देख रहे हैं। तो डिस्प्यूट और क्या है? All the conflict in this world is between right and right, because I am right and you are also right. The question is, who is more right? So what is a dispute? Dispute is a difference in perception. परिप्रेक्ष्य में जो अंतर है वही डिस्प्यूट को जन्म देता है। मेरा परिप्रेक्ष्य, मेरा देखने का तरीका, मेरा नजरिया एक है, उसी चीज को दूसरे आदमी को के द्वारा देखे जाने का नजरिया डिफरेंट है। तो अगर जैन धर्म की जो बेसिक चीज अगर मैं बोलूं कि ये ही सही है, ये ही सत्य है, तो ये गलत है। और अगर मैं ये बोलूं जो हमें सिखाया गया है कि ये भी सत्य है, तो ये बात एक रिजोल्यूशन को जन्म दे सकती है, क्योंकि दूसरा आदमी इस बात को अप्रिशिएट करेगा कि a person sitting across the table is not rigid. He is willing to accept my point of view also. And this willingness to accept the other person's point of view is fundamental. It is fountainhead of any resolution process and the mediation in particular. So that is why we need trained mediators. In mediation, as Dr. Surana has indicated that recently we have trained people. We have caucus sessions and we have joint sessions. Caucus sessions में हम parties को अलग अलग बात करते हैं और उनको जैसा अभी दवे साहब ने बोला कि ये बताना बहुत जरूरी है कि तुम्हारे पिटफॉल्स क्या हैं, क्योंकि जो सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट बात है मीडिएशन की, जो अगेन दवे साहब ने भी बोली, और वो ये है कि मीडिएशन इज वर्चुअली दी बाई प्रोडक्ट ऑफ माइंडसेट। तो अगर मेरा माइंडसेट बहुत बुआयंट है और मैं सोच रहा हूं कि नहीं, मेरे केस में इतना मेरिट है कि मैं तो उसको सुप्रीम कोर्ट तक जीतूंगा ही जीतूंगा, और इस पे मैं पानी की तरह पैसा बहा दूंगा, लेकिन मैं जीतूंगा ही जीतूंगा, तो उस कंडीशन में मीडिएशन की संभावना कम हो जाती है। और अगर हम उस व्यक्ति को उसके पिटफॉल्स बता सकें ईमानदारी से कि देखो भाई ये कॉस्ट है, इतना डिले है, जो डॉक्टर सिंघवी ने ABCD की बात की, तो ये ABCD का जो प्रिंसिपल है ये तुम्हारे केस में भी लागू होता है, तो वो व्यक्ति शायद उस बात को समझने के लिए तैयार हो कि ओके मैं बैठ जाता हूं और मैं दूसरी पार्टी की भी पर्सपेक्टिव को समझने की कोशिश करता हूं। तो ये जो दूसरे पार्टी के पर्सपेक्टिव को समझने का जो प्रयास है, वो मध्यस्थता का मूल मंत्र है। और अलग अलग अभिव्यक्तियों में सामंजस्य स्थापित करके ही हम मध्यस्थता की राह पे चल सकते हैं। और मीडिएशन को हम जैन धर्म के सिद्धांतों से बहुत सरल बना के जो हमारे से जुड़ने वाले लोग हैं उनको इस महाधारा में शामिल कर सकते हैं। Having said that, I must congratulate JTF for starting this initiative, and at my personal level, I pledge my services to the organization, either in the capacity of a mediator. It doesn't matter whether people like us, who are from the community, we may not be paid, but we should come forward with our services pro bono. Of course, we'll have to pay the good mediators if you want to attract good mediators to the center to increase its image. But at least people who are from the community, they can offer their pro bono services. So I am offering my pro bono services to this center. I am a trained mediator and I will be very glad to do it. Thank you so much. Dhanyavad. Jai Jinendra.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot for your views. Now, as our last speaker, we have Ms. Aishwarya Bhati, Senior Advocate, Supreme Court of India. Though youngest of the speakers, but she is a very accomplished professional. She was previously representing the state of Uttar Pradesh as Additional Advocate General before the Supreme Court of India. Presently, Aishwarya ji is Additional Solicitor General of India before the Honorable Supreme Court. I am requesting Aishwarya ji for her concluding remarks and her views.
Thank you very much, Harshji. Vande Mataram and Jai Hind, and congratulations to everyone for our 74th Independence Day. For me, I think it is indeed a privilege and honor to be sharing this virtual platform with such legal doyens who have been guides, mentors. It's really wonderful to have from hometown, from my Janam Bhumi and from my Karam Bhumi both. So my warm greetings to all seniors. As a last speaker, I do have the advantage of a caveat that no repetition. So I will, and anyways, the time is also running short. So I will quickly say a few points that I feel also need the focus. I think the first aspect that is that gender justice is something that needs to be focused as a means and ends of mediation. We have a huge set of problems that, domestic problems that women get. Women are obviously at the receiving end of that. It's the world in the community and the society is also as good as what we see in the National Geographic. Women, most women are still perceived to be the weaker sections of the society. So they are victims of that domestic abuse and social abuse at many places, whether it is matrimonial or in other relationships. So providing succor to women in the problems should be a very important motive that the mediation should aim at achieving. Because ultimately, if our families are stable, then with stable families we are building stable nation, stable community. And I think it's wonderful, out of my example, I can see that we have some very efficient mediation centers running in Delhi, of course, both of which are affiliated with the courts. One is Delhi High Court and the Supreme Court. But we managed to have a mediation settlement, between a daughter and a father. They were fighting over a property which the mother had died, and the daughter used to live in that property with the mother. When mother died, the father wanted the property back, and it was his self-acquired property. She had no, right on the property. But the court, by a little force and in mediation, found a way for this, woman from Jodhpur to have some alternate accommodation made available to her by her father. Or, a woman from the remote districts of Pratapgarh in Rajasthan. Finding solutions in mediations are always wonderful, because you're not just helping people out of one case, but you are also, providing them peace in that relationship for future. So you're bringing them out of the justice delivery system, not just in one case, but for everything that they are bickering and fighting over. So, and I also know of some mediation centers in Bangalore, for example, who have NGOs affiliated with them. So these NGOs are helping these women come, stand back on their feet, and by, helping them out with small skills so that they have their own livelihood that they can, reach out to once they are coming out of broken marriages. This is a reality of the world that we live in. Broken marriages are happening. So if something like this can be focused, I felt that this could be one focus area which nobody has spoken about so far. Another, I think, challenge would be that increasingly, litigation is now being resorted to not by people who want vindication of their rights, but to use litigation as a disruptor. So that is, I feel that there's a huge ratio of people coming into litigation to be just disruptors. How do we find solution to those disruptors? Because they are ultimately clogging up the system. I mean, we will all know, as students of law who are practicing law, we would all know that, many times the genuine litigators do not want to come to court. They want to settle their disputes outside court, because the definition of infinity is a civil suit pending in India. That's the dubious distinction that we have of litigation in India. So genuine litigators do not want to come in the system. So this would be a huge roadblock, and I don't know how to address it, but I'm just highlighting it for now. But these are the 2 points that I wanted to highlight, and I wanted to congratulate, the community, the association, the Jito Center, and I'm also not too familiar with your work, but community-based initiative, which is going to be a social initiative run professionally. Kudos to you, and congratulations to you, and Godspeed to you. There's a very interesting old saying that when winds of change blow, some people build walls and some people build windmills. So congratulations to you for building the windmill, because in the COVID times, though it was already coming, the writing was on the wall, but the COVID time has allowed us the introspection to see the meaninglessness of litigation and trying to find solution to our disputes in alternate dispute redressal mechanism. Congratulations, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Aishwarya ji, for your wonderful remarks. I am told that we can play a short video of Justice G.S. Singhvi Saab from the first inauguration. Sridhar, can you play the video?
स्वागत है इस कार्यक्रम में। आज ये क्यों जरूरी हुआ, इस पर सोचना जरूरी है कि क्यों हम ऑल्टरनेटिव डिस्प्यूट रिजोल्यूशन की बात करते हैं। रेगुलर कोर्ट में मुकदमा 3 से 30 साल तक चलता है। जब भी आदमी को ये महसूस होगा कि ये मैं 30 साल नहीं करना चाहता, he will immediately come on the table। और अगर अच्छे मीडिएटर्स हैं तो वो उसको सॉल्व करेंगे, and their solution will be acceptable and will be permanent, bring peace in the society। जो लोग इसमें पार्टिसिपेट करेंगे उनके लिए एक जरूर बात कहना चाहूंगा, आप जुडिशरी में ज्वाइन करना चाहते हैं, लॉयर बनना चाहते हैं, कोई भी, ये मान के चलिए कि आप अगर मीडिएशन सक्सेसफुली करते हैं तो आपकी प्रैक्टिस रिड्यूस नहीं होगी, और पैसे कम भी मिले उसकी कोई चिंता की बात नहीं है, क्योंकि आपके मन में जो सेटिस्फेक्शन होगा वो 100 मुकदमे लड़के नहीं होगा जो 10 मीडिएशन सॉल्व करने में होगा, because that brings peace in the society, which is our objective, basic objective of the system, whether it is adversarial litigation system or any other system, is to bring peace or maintain peace in the society. मैं आपको मेरी बात खत्म करने से पहले एक और बात कहना चाहता हूं. When you join judicial service or when you become lawyers, do not think yourself to be the officers. Think yourself that you are servants of the people. You have been assigned a particular task by the Almighty God. This task is always assigned by Almighty God. And if you successfully do that job, then perhaps you have discharged your obligation. Nothing beyond that. For that, of course, the society pays you. Thank you very much.
Sridhar, can you play the other two slides, please?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Sridhar, can we have the other 15-second slide? This is a view curtain raiser for our ebook. Sridhar, thanks. Now I'll request Shri Vinod Duggar, Vice President JTF and Coordinator JTF ADR, for thank you. Vinod ji.
Pranam Jai Jinendra, Vande Mataram and Happy Independence Day to everyone. It was a very fascinating and very engaging evening. We are really thankful to everyone who are present to witness this historic day of Jito JTF e-launch of JTF ADR Center. We from JTF pledge to everybody that yes, this will be a center where people will not approach that alternate dispute resolution, whereas it will come like A for approach, D for discuss, and R for resolve. My heartful thankful to respected Sri G.S. Singhvi Saab, who is always a mentor and guide to us, though he was not able to be present over there personally in virtual way, but he was always there to bless us. Dr. Sri Abhishek Singhvi Saab, Honorable Justice Dr. Vinit Kothari Saab, Honorable Justice Sri Sandeep Mehta Saab, Sri Sanjay Jain Saab, Sri KTS Tulsi Saab, Sri Dushyant Dave Saab, and Ms. Aishwarya Bhati Ji Saab, for taking out time and guiding us and blessing us. My special thanks to all participants, lawyers, judges, and mentors. Our background team, Sridhar, Manish Ji, and all JTF ADR Center. My special thanks to Harshji Surana, who is taking all efforts to take our vision of JTF ADR successfully. My gratitude to Apex Jito Board and JTF Working Committee. My special thanks to Sri Pradeep Ji Rathod, Sri Ganpat Ji Kothari, Sri Ganpat Ji Chaudhary, Sri Prithviraj Ji Kothari, Sri JB Jain Saab, Sri Humanshu Bhai Saab, and Sri Anil Jain Saab, who always support us and guide us in the mission and vision. पर्यूषण के इस पावन पर्व में मैं आप सबको हार्दिक शुभकामना हम लोग की तरफ से देते हैं। आज की व्यवस्था में कोई भी त्रुटि रह गई हो तो मिच्छामि दुक्कडम। जय हिंद।
Thank you. Thanks a lot to all dignitaries, speakers, and all participants for a wonderful evening. Thanks a lot to each one of you. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Jai Hind.
Sir, we are ending our program with the national anthem, sir.
Yeah, please. Because it is such an auspicious day, 15th August, so national anthem. May I ask everyone to please stand up for national anthem?
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता, पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा, विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा, तव शुभ नामे जागे, तव शुभ आशीष मांगे, गाहे तव जय गाथा, जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता, जय हे जय हे जय हे, जय 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 हे।